Welcome back to the small channel of Epic Games. Now, most of you that watch this channel probably played Legions Imperialis. This is a mass battle game and it works around apparently 3,000 points, which is quite a lot of stuff to build, paint and buy. Now, I imagine lots of people are probably playing around 2,000 points at clubs. Who knows? You let me know. But that in itself is still quite a lot of miniatures. With the current release of Battle March for Warhammer the Old World, Steve and we actually spent a morning having a little go ourselves, breaking out some old miniatures and new ones to play this starter size game for what is essentially another mass battle game, but in 28/32mm. And it got me thinking, does Legions Imperialis need something like this? If you're a new player or you want to try and get someone else into it, are they put off by the sheer size of the armies that they might see or are incentivized to buy? Yeah, maybe. Games Workshop did release a starter box set for Legions Imperialis and it's not actually that good, as the army inside isn't really a proper army that you can build. So what did they do to mitigate this? They released a mini pack for a starter game using just the box set. Opening Maneuvers was a small document, 2 pages, which came with a special formation to use with the box set, as well as a mission played on a 3x3 mat. And I thought, how can we expand on this? This is a good idea. So with that in mind, I came up with Legions Skirmish. This is small scale skirmish battles using the rules for Legions Imperialis. It's very simple. In fact, it barely needs to be a document, but it's 4 pages. What it gives you is building, rules and lists and missions for 600 to 900 point games. Yes, you can use the box set, use the formation from Opening Maneuvers and get playing. But if you want to expand on that box set, but still 2,000 points, 3,000 points is a lot, you can buy a box set here, box set there, and start making 600, 700, 800 point armies. So let's have a look at the pack, see what you think. Okay, so let's have a look at the pack. Essentially, once you've bought your starter set and you've got bored with playing Opening Maneuvers over and over and over, you might want to move on to something else, but you haven't actually got that much stuff. So you buy a box set here or there, some Xiphons, flesh out your infantry, whatever. You can start moving up to maybe 600 points proper lists. And this is what this pack is designed for. In fact, you might have a massive army already and you just want to go to the club and play some small games, and this might suit you. You might be able to get a couple of games in of an evening really quickly. Now, unfortunately, we did not get to play test any of this. We wanted to and we tried to, but unfortunately life and work got in the way. But we will be doing some battle reports on this, and also if anyone does decide to play this, I'd love to get your feedback. So I have designed it at 600 to 900 points and played on a 30x44 mat. Now, if you don't have one of these and you have a large battle mat, low tack masking tape is a really easy way just to make that size. I went for this size because it seems to be popular with Games Workshop. So one thing with 600 to 900 points is you won't be able to use your Warhounds, but you can use your Opening Maneuvers formation and play these games. That's fine, which includes a Warhound. If you go up to 1,000 points, I would probably start going up to a 4x4 and playing bigger games, 1,000, 1,200. So this is kind of like pre a 4x4. It's keeping that size down quite a lot. I personally would like to do some reps at about 700 points. So straight away, I do link the Legion Builder app. This is probably one of the best and most essential apps for a war game I can remember, apart from TIE Terminal, which is obviously amazing. Legions Builder is very easy to use. Building lists for Legions Imperialis with it is very, very simple and very, very quick, and especially at 600 to 900 points. So straight away, you can go and use that website and start building your list with the stuff you've got. Skirmish size games literally just use the rules from the rulebook and any supplements and the latest FAQs. The games are played for 5 battle rounds, but I've also included a random game length mechanic. This can speed things up, it can make things more exciting, and at this size you can probably get in more games. And then all the key points. So army size, 600 to 900 points, played on a 30 by 44. It really doesn't matter if you play on a 3 by 3 map or adjust it. It's just what I decided to do. Again, use the rulebook and supplements and FAQs. Play 5 rounds, but random game length is optional. Just agree with your opponent before you play. So basically, at the end of the 3rd battle round, the player with the initiative rolls a d6. On a 2+, you will play a round 4. At the end of round 4, the player with the initiative rolls a d6. On a 4+, you will play a round 5. So essentially, you're more than likely going to get 4 rounds. 50-50 if you're going to go the full 5. So at this size, you haven't got a lot of stuff. Casualties do mount up quickly. And I think if a game lasts 3 rounds, bash, game's over, rack them up and play again. To the death was on the opening maneuvers, and this is an optional rule. Again, decide with your opponent. If you're a new player, you might not want to play with the rules for broken formations. So you can use that, just play, things will die, but nothing will break, and you haven't got to worry about not being able to do certain orders, etc. I do think there seems to be a consensus that a lot of people play without broken formations anyway. That's probably a video for another day, but I really like the broken formations rule. But I do think apparently some people find the tracking of that quite irritating. And in games of skirmish, objectives are taken by having more tactical strength than your opponent, not double. This is because it's a smaller size game, so you really don't have as much stuff. And I think that will work better in smaller games. Infantry squads will be quite small. I imagine you can still make a horde army at 600 points, but I think generally people want to take a bit of everything. And that's it. So the first page is just the rules. Like I say, it is very simple. There is nothing particularly complicated there. The rest of the document is some missions to go with it. So I've created 4 special missions for this pack. It was too easy just to, and this is going back to the tabletop being rectangular, it would have been too easy just to scale down the missions that are in the book and play it on a smaller map. So anyone can do that. That is easy to do, and you can. So I did some slightly different missions just for the change, just for something a little bit different. All the missions revolve around scoring a major victory, a minor victory, or a draw. And then obviously, if your opponent has a major or minor victory and you don't, you have lost the game. Bunker assault. So both players before deployment place a structure of the same type decided by the player, so civitas for example, and roughly the same size if possible, in their deployment zones, taken in turns. Just roll a d6 to see who puts their structure down first. Due to tactical importance of the structures, they cannot be targeted by attacks to destroy them. And the victory conditions are as follow. At the end of the battle, a player will score a major victory if they hold both structures, i.e. they are garrisoned by infantry. A minor victory if they hold either one of the structures and their opponent holds none. Or a draw if players hold a structure each, or if neither player holds a structure. Very, very simple. The next mission is tactical strength. Place an objective marker in the center of the battlefield. Players then roll a d6 and the winner chooses who deploys an objective first in their own deployment zone. This must be 4 inches away from any battlefield edge. Whoever scores the most VPs at the end of the game is the victor. A victory margin of 4 VPs or more is a major victory. Anything else is a minor victory. If players are tied for VPs, the game is a draw. So the objective in the center of the battlefield is worth 3 victory points. The objective in your own deployment zone is worth 1, and objectives in your opponent's deployment zone are worth 2. Moving on to crash site. Place an objective marker in the center of the battlefield. I recommend use an aircraft model from your collection for a more narrative feel if you have one at this point. In the end phase, a player may remove the vital intel from the crash site from being within 1 inch of the central objective with either an infantry, walker or vehicle model and being in control of the objective. Use an appropriate token to represent the vital intel. The model is now holding the vital intel. So basically using the objective rules, if you take and hold it and it is not contested, you can take the intel. Should the model carrying the vital intel be destroyed, the intel will be dropped where the model was and will remain until it is picked up again by another model. At the end of the game, the player who holds the vital intel and brings it into their own deployment zone wins a major victory. At the end of the game, a player that holds the vital intel but is not in their own deployment zone wins a minor victory. Any other result is a draw. And then domination. Divide the battlefield into 4 quarters. At the end of the game, use tactical strength to determine who has control of each table quarter. Table quarters held in your half of the table are worth 1 victory point, and table quarters in your opponent's half of the battlefield are worth 2 victory points. If the deployment map, and you'll see that in a minute, does not make it obvious what battlefield quarters are in each player's half, agree with your opponent before the game starts. And then at the end of the battle, the player with the most victory points is the victor. A victory margin of 4 or more points is a major victory. Anything else is a minor victory. If players are tied for points, the game is a draw. So there are just primary missions. There are no secondaries. You can add them from the book if you wish. That is easy enough. The hobby is your hobby. It's your game. You can do whatever you like. This is just a small, easy pack if you're just scrabbling for what to do, you're just getting into Legions, or you want to play some small games. And I've come up with 4 simple deployment maps for your games. So Battle Line, just the long table edge, Dawn of War, short table edges, Spearhead, corner deployment, and a Staggered Front, which is a box-like corner deployment. Very simple. So again, like I said before, I chose the rectangle deployment map or battlefield size because it's quite common, the 30 by 44s. So you might have those already if you play other games. They are easy to get hold of. And secondly, because they're rectangular, if you just want to scale down the main missions from the book and play those, it's easy to do rather than a 3 by 3, for example. But I'm sure you could suss that out if you wanted to. So that's it. It's really simple. That is Legion Skirmish, 600 to 900 points. I'm quite looking forward to playing these. It might even be a fun one-day event. 4 games, bosh. Get people into the game, start playing Legions, and then slowly, in your own time, without the pressure of 3,000 points, expanding your armies. So that's it from me. Put your comments down below if you think it's good, if you think it's shit. Always good to know, but be constructive. Tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like, and that will be much better for me. So thanks very much. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you again for more thrill spills and engine cool.